All right, it's April 28th. We're at Lake Norman State Park. It's about 77 degrees. We're going to check this park out today, so let's get started. What you're looking at right now is the concessions area, where you can get some food and snacks. I believe you can rent canoes and things like that here as well. You can see that spring is here by the amount of pollen on the concession counter here. And bathrooms to my right, and you can see some early adventurers into the water. I stepped into the water not too long ago myself, and it was cold. So we'll go down there and take a look at the beach real quick. Yeah, you can see got a nice little beach area. Got it roped off where you can swim. The kids don't get out too far, get over their head. This place is quiet today. Last time I was here was the middle of the summer, and it was packed. People come down here and picnic. They got picnic areas all back in the woods. We'll walk up there in just a minute. Check that out. It's a great place to bring the family for the day. A little bit of swimming and fun. You can also mountain bike ride in this park, camp, RV camp, primitive camp. You can launch your boat here, fish. Yeah, just a great park to come to all the way around. People over there got them a good setup with their little canopy. Kids out there having fun. Yeah, we'll shoot off over there to the right. We'll walk down through the woods and see what we can get into over there. So there's a look back at the park from the wooded section over here. Look out at the lake there. They got trails that run all along here. I hadn't looked at any of the maps to see which trails go where, and I'm not even sure if there is a trail back here, but I'll walk back here to the lake and show you some of those picnic areas, and then we'll see if we can find a trail to hike. Yeah, you can see picnic tables all up in there, all got their grills. And then, like I said, during the summer they'll be packed, so you'll want to get here earlier to get one. Got trash cans here for you. Put all your waste away. And these picnic tables are all up through there. I've came out here before and we fished off this pier with the kids. And I've been mountain bike riding on the trails. Got some great mountain bike trails here. And I've hiked trail up by the visitor center. I haven't hiked any trails down here, and I'm not sure that there are any, so we'll go ahead and take a look on this pier, and then I'll shut it off and look at the little all trails map and see what they got. Yeah, it's a great pier to fish off of out here. Lake Norman's a beautiful lake, part of the Catawba River system. Feels good out here today. And you can see houses off in the distance there. When you're going down the lake, you won't find any land like this anymore. Lake Norman is really blown up, and people have come from all over to buy houses here. And thank goodness for this state park. You can come up here and see what Lake Norman used to look like back in the 80s. There was a lot of land like this around. It wasn't as crowded. These days, man, it's crowded, especially on the weekends. Alright, let's head back and see if we can find a trail. So I didn't see any trails from this area out on the map. We're walking through a row of these picnic areas again. So I'm walking up this gravel road back toward the parking area. We may have to go back up to the visitor center. I know that's where the mountain bike trails start, and I think a lot of the trails are a combined hiking and mountain biking trails together. So if you come on the weekend, I'm sure those mountain bike trails are full, so you might not like that kind of hiking, but anyway, we'll walk back to the parking lot. I'll look around and see if I see any signs for a trailhead, but I don't think there's any down here. I know there's some up by the visitor center, so we'll jump back in the RV and head up that way. As I was leaving, I saw a sign for the Lakeshore Trail, and I took the road to the right and it brought me down to this little parking area here. So they do have a trail down here. Well, this is the Trailhead Parking for the Lakeshore Trailhead. And the great thing about this trail is they don't allow mountain bikes on it. Got a map here. I've already took a picture of it, so I'm going to do it. It's about a 5-mile trail. It'll take about 3.5 hours. I may not do the whole thing. They have cut across trails, as you can see right there, so you can shorten it if you need to. Good information there. And there's a Tall River State Park. You saw me talk about these things for your kids. Got these little pamphlets. They got a website you can go to. Kids can sign up there and post pictures and things like that. And I think it's a great thing for the kids to do. Anyway, looks like the trail starts here at these steps, so let's get started. It's going to be up in the woods today, and I'm glad because it's about 77 degrees and it's cool up in here. You can see the lake coming up on my left, down at the bottom of the hill there. Got a lot of stumps on this trail, so as you walk, you want to make sure don't stump your toe and trip. I'll probably do that today since I'm looking at a camera as I go. If you've watched any of my other hike and talk videos, you know I don't film the whole trail. We cut in and out as we go along, different spots I find interesting, and I talk the whole way. Sometimes about the trail, sometimes about other things. So I hope you enjoy it. And if you ever get a chance to get out here, I recommend coming out to this park and hiking these trails. And it's a beautiful day today to do it. And like I said, if you're into mountain biking, they've got that too. Looks like they're going to have some bridges where needed to cross. You can see White Diamond. That's the Trail Blaze. So they have a out and back trail called the Short Turn Trail. You can take to the left. We're gonna do the Lakeshore Trail. I don't know if we'll do the whole 5 miles. We might. That breeze is feeling good. Trail is easy, so. Oh, remember what I said about those roots and stumping your toe? Well, I just did it. Oh well. Maybe I'll fall and get that on camera. That'll be cool. When I was doing the Pinnacle Trail in Crowder's Mountain, I climbed up there and I was holding the camera in one hand and trying to climb up on a rock, and I slipped and kind of fell over and my water went flying. So you never know what you're going to get with me. That's for sure. Check out this old deadfall sitting right here. Been there a while. Looks like a lot of people's come out here to fish. Imagine there's some fish down in there. Water's got a nice green tint to it. Earlier when I showed you those houses, that's those houses out this that we were looking at out there off of that pier, and we're standing back up in a cove right now. And that swimming area is just right over the hill there. Here's another area. Looks like people have been coming down to fish. You can see a lot of foot traffic around this area. I was over in Troutman, North Carolina earlier today doing a little walk and talk of that town over there, and I kept referring to Lake Norman State Park as Duke Power State Park, and that's because I used to live up here in the 80s and it was called Duke Power State Park then, but it's called Lake Norman State Park now. And it, like I said, it's a beautiful park, but the area here is increasing in population, so it really can get stressed out on the weekends with all the people that come here. See another bridge up in the distance. Check out this. I believe it's American birch. People have carved their name into this beautiful big tree, and I don't think it's killing the tree, but it doesn't look good and healthy right here where they're doing it. And look how big it is. I mean, you don't see many that big anymore. And I can tell they're doing some damage, I believe. They need to put a sign up here, I think, tell people to stop doing that. You can get by with a few, but when you cut into the bark all the way around a tree like that, I mean, that's just inviting insects and bugs into it. You definitely don't want to have this tree fall because you wanted to carve your name into it. How you doing? Runner just went by and somebody else was coming by, so I'm gonna stop filming here until they go by. There's another look at that tree. I'm showing you this as a hiker goes on by me off in the distance. So I'm gonna give him a little room. But yeah, like I was saying, I think they should just put a sign up here. I think people will stop doing it, but I don't know if that's enough to kill a tree. But like I said, I think it is doing damage. You can see bark peeling there, and these trees might peel bark on a little bit, but I've never noticed that much on one like that before. All right, let's keep going. You may hear a plastic water bottle in my back pocket. I'm trying to keep it quiet. I went ahead and drank all the water out of it. Try to crunch it up. It got that thin plastic in it. It just makes a racket. I wish I hadn't even bought it because this mic picks up every little thing. A hole down in there. Be a good place for a geocache. Yeah, that thing making a racket, so I think this trail crosses the road somewhere along the way. Hopefully there's a trash can, I can get rid of it. Look how the wind and water, I guess, has eroded out under this tree here along the bank. Yes, its days are numbered. It won't be long before it falls off. All those trees along there probably fall off just like this big one did right here. You can see big root ball right there. That's been out there a while. You can see that wood's old, but yeah, it came out of this spot right here. I'm assuming, yeah, probably was sitting right here at one time in the water now. But that's okay. Fish use that. They swim around that. That's part of nature. They have numbers on these white blazes. This one says 26. It may be something you can use, like if you had to call 911, you could say I'm at blaze 26, but I'm not sure. It could be. And then they got Lakeshore Trail, and we're just a measly 0.5 miles in. Yeah, just a beautiful walk along the shores of Lake Norman here. There's a look at it. A little island that's bare. I imagine boaters may come there on the weekends and tie up maybe. Like I say, if you're going down the lake, there's not many places you can come up on the shore anymore because there's houses and a lot of places people used to pull up aren't there anymore. How you doing? Good. Yeah, a lot of joggers coming out here. Good place to exercise. But we're not jogging. I'm going to keep walking. I love it when I'm hiking and I can hear the wind blowing through the trees. Water lapping up off to my right there onto the shore. Got a sign up here. Let's see what it says. Family campground back to the right. Lakeshore Trail is left and right. So yeah, if you come in and camp, you're RV camping or tent camping, you got a trail out here to this trail, so that's good. Let's take a right here and Keep following the blazes. Guess a lot of people got confused. They put a little trail thing with the arrow, but you know, a lot of people come down here and fish and stuff, and you'll get trails shooting off all different directions. Another tree. People just can't go by it and not dig into it, I guess. Here's a boat out there to my right, out there fishing, I guess. Not sure. Pretty windy out there on the water today. You can see the water's down today, and in this little cove all this wood is washed up in here. You can see a trash as well. Got a jug over there, styrofoam cooler top, it looks like. Somebody's shoes, bottles. I don't know if they washed up or people just threw them down, but we really gotta watch our trash. There's no sense in it. You know, put it in a trash can. There's another tree, some names on it. I mean, yeah, somebody just throwing their trash down. I didn't bring a bag to pick it up today. I should have. By now I should know most of these trails will have somebody throw something down. But all in all, it's clean so far. That's the worst spot I've seen so far. We're walking on the lower end of the campground. You can see a tent set up there. So we're kind of going around that campground now on the bottom edge. Yeah, I can see somebody's got a hammock up there. So if you want to hike this trail and you're camping, you just jump right down here on it. Go for a jog like that one guy was doing. Bring your dog out for a walk. Been a rough week for me this week. I had a Siberian Husky Red, about 14 years old, and she got cancer and a tumor, and it just kept getting worse and worse. There wasn't nothing we could do about it. We just tried to make her comfortable, but she got where she couldn't even walk, and I can tell she was in pain. She got where she wouldn't eat, just laying there, so had to make that decision to take her to the vet. Of course, there wasn't nothing they could do, and we had to put her down. And I had to have my wife do it. I just couldn't do it. And I appreciate her doing that. In some ways, I wish I'd have been in there with her. She used to come hiking with me on some of these trails. And I don't know, sometimes you think it wouldn't hit you that hard, but it did. Hit me pretty hard, so I miss her. I know a lot of you probably have pets and maybe have had to do the same thing. Yeah, you get out here on these trails, sometimes you'll start thinking about things like that. Passing a lot of couples out here walking the trail today too. Got some benches here. Boy Scouts. I tell you what, them Boy Scouts, all these parks I've been to, they come out and do their projects out here, and they really add value to these parks. Can't say enough about them. So it looks like the worst thing you're going to encounter on this trail is some ups and downs coming through these gullies. You're gonna come down and go up the other side, but other than that, nice easy walk. Anybody should be able to handle it. You know, I was talking about my dog earlier, and the vet we usually go see couldn't get her in. They had all these rules and stuff, because of the virus and all. So my wife called, I think it's Davidson Veterinary Clinic right there near the hospital in Lexington, North Carolina. We took her there, and I'm gonna tell you what, that vet there, old school, and I really liked him. I wish we'd have been taking her there the whole time, because a lot of times when you go to the vet these days, it's like an assembly line, just like it is for people when you go to the doctor. In and out, in and out. You don't get any quality time with a lot of doctors and a lot of vets. And that's not all of them, but it seems to be getting to be more and more. But anyway, he did that. My wife must have told him that I was pretty upset out. I stayed out in the RV, and when it was done, he came out and actually talked to me and said a little prayer, told me how she went peaceful and all that, and I really appreciate that. I mean, that meant a lot to me. And we went ahead and we had her cremated, and he's taking care of that for us. But yeah, if you want a good vet to go to, I highly recommend him. I wish I knew if that was the exact name, but he's right there close to the hospital as you go into Lexington. Lake Norman's a large lake, largest freshwater lake in North Carolina. Maximum depth of about, I think it's about 112 feet. If I'm not mistaken, they covered up part of a town when they built the dam, and some of that's underwater. Don't hold me to that, but I believe I heard that somewhere. Lake was built 1959, 1960. You could come up there and probably buy lots for under $5,000, I imagine. If you would come up here and could see the future, you'd have come up here and bought all these lots up, and you could have been selling them hundreds of thousands of dollars today, I imagine, just for the lot. Definitely over 100. I don't know what they've gone up to. I hadn't been here in a while, but they were expensive when I lived up here. I'm up on High Rock Lake now, and same thing's happening there. The prices are jumping up. Some of the lots cost as much as a house anywhere else. If you're going to move up to the Lake Norman area, you know, you can expect to be in a lot of traffic nowadays. I mean, every 150 traffic, there's houses being built on the water and off the water, businesses and stores. I mean, when I first moved up to Lake Norman in Mooresville, I lived out in Shavender's Bluff off of Brawley School Road. It was still a 2-lane road. There was no stores there, and now it's 4 lanes and stores and shops, strip malls, basically everything you would see at an interstate exit, and then some. And that goes all the way across 150. That bridge really gets backed up. I think they're going to widen it, but I haven't been out there in a while, so I don't know if they have or not. But all the way over to Denver, back around, down by the dam, it doesn't matter, Cornelius area. Traffic. That's one of the reasons I moved away. Yeah, I lived up here in the 80s and then in the 90s. But it's a great lake and some beautiful homes here. And most of them are a good size now. A lot of the smaller homes got tore down, cottage type houses, and the bigger houses built. I know out on the peninsula where I rented a house in the 80s, before all that was built, a little block home there. And there was about 4 others beside it. All those homes got tore down. There's one big house on them now, on those 4 lots. They got a lot of restaurants and bars you can boat to on this lake. That's one good thing that came about, is you had a lot of selections as far as places you could go at nighttime and take your boat there. And you can go by car as well, and they all seem to do a good business. A lot of fun going to those places. Wow, check out that tree. That bad boy's been there a long time. You don't see trees that big much anymore. When I was a kid, there was a lot of them like that. You go through the forest, they'd be all over. There's been so many trees cut down, you can't really find one that's had time to get that big. Glad to see that here in this park. Yeah, beautiful park so far. We're about 2 miles in now, I think. A lot of recreational activities to do here: boating, skiing, fishing. Come up here and scuba dive if you want to, I guess. Be a little murky. You can do it. I got the sandbar or down the Lake of Peace where you can go to raft up together and party. Have a lot of fun doing that. And got this park here, thank God. They saved that. They got a smaller park down toward Cornelius that you can go to, but it's nothing like this. It's not a state park. I don't think it is. It's a little park there in Cornelius, but it gets really crowded. I mean, I think they have buses come up from Charlotte to that park. I can't remember the name offhand. I think it's Ramsey Creek. There's a lookout across the lake at some of the houses. A lot of them are up in the trees. You can't see them. There's another one out in the open right over there. Got some little beach areas here. I imagine if you have a pontoon boat or something and you want to come up here, you could pull up here maybe. I don't think they'll let you camp, but I imagine you could maybe tie off. You just want to come up here and float around with your family. I don't know if it still happens anymore, but if you're driving down Interstate 77 in the Cornelius Davidson area, you cross the bridge there where it crosses part of the lake, and there'll be people docked up there in the boats and girls in bikinis. And I know used to be that traffic would back up there, as I'm assuming mostly guys looked over to check those girls out, and you could get a traffic jam there. I don't know if it still happens or not, but if you ever go through there, you might have to slow down a bit as everybody gets an eyeful. A little young tree here. Nobody's got the carving in it yet. We got this one. Got this one over here. 21608 P&G and T. Once one starts, another one will go, and another one, then you'll have a tree like we had at the beginning. So if you're out here and wanting to do that, try to hold off on it, because you might think it'd be just your one little signature, no big deal, but just encourages the next person, just like graffiti up on Crowder's Mountain on King's Pinnacle. You know, somebody sprayed graffiti at one time, and next person did, and they start to get more and more up there. I hate to see that. Same thing with, I think it was, Hanging Rock State Park. People write their names with a magic marker on the cliffs there underneath. There's thousands of names everywhere. The rock don't care, but you know, for the people that's coming up after you, they care. They just want to see it in its natural state. So try to refrain from it if you can. I know it's tempting. It's nice to put "I was here," and at least the magic marker, I don't know how long that'll last. It'll probably fade off soon enough. But these trees, that'll be in there for a long time, and it could harm the tree. You can see where this tree fell a long time ago. You can see how it's rotted. It's almost ready to disintegrate back into the ground, and the root ball here is just starting to look like a mound of dirt. Eventually the wood will all be gone, and another tree or bush or plant of some sort will grow out of the top of that mound. You'll just see that mound there, and you might not even realize it was a root ball at one time. Yeah, nature always takes everything back in the end. It'll take us too one day. It's nice right through this section. We're kind of off the water now, so I'm not hearing as many boats. You can hear the birds. Here's another example. You can see the trees either buried or completely gone. Just that little piece of log left, and there's the root ball. And eventually that'll all fill in. Here's another one. Just a hill now. Looks like the root ball was on this side and the tree fell that way. You see the log's completely gone. This tree's got some damage here. See that worm in there? Where's he at? Yeah. Just starting his life out. He's using this tree to live. Yeah, that tree's hollow all the way in. I'm going in here. Yeah. Completely hollowed out. Damn, got me. Just gonna look up, see if it's, you know, it's still green at the top, even though the whole base is hollowed out in the middle. But it won't be long. Good storm will come up, and that's going to be laying down across there, and a new root ball sticking up. This tree here has already died. You can see the bark peeling off. If you ever need anything to start a fire with, though, you can take that bark, break it up into little pieces, help you get your fire started. Going back down toward the water now. Well, the trip down to the water was short-lived, and now I have turned and we're going back uphill. Funny thing happened when I was walking along. I heard a tone go off on the phone, and it wasn't a tone that I use, and it sounded like it was off to my right. You know, a tone like you get on your text message. So I stopped and I started looking around, thinking maybe somebody had dropped the phone. I looked back on the trail, didn't see nobody coming. And I waited a few minutes, finally somebody did come, and he said it was his phone, but I guess the trail did a horseshoe, and I heard his tone go off across the way there. You never know, somebody could drop a phone. So I got a map here. Here's a short turn trail, and the Lakeshore Trail goes off to the right. I think I'm around halfway through on this trail. So I'm gonna look at this, and then I'll make a decision if I want to cut on across or do the whole thing. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna do the whole trail, 5 or 6 miles, I think. It's about 2:30, so we got time. It's been an easy hike. I was just looking at this gully as I went by, thinking how great of a mountain bike drop that'd be. You come down off that gully and shoot off down through there. It'd be a lot of fun. They've added a lot of trails for the mountain bike since I rode here last, so they may have something like that along it. I know it's a lot longer than it used to be. It looks a little different over there on that hill. Got a lot of grasses growing on the top, all along there. Road must be up there. I can hear a car. Yeah, there's the road right there, and across it is the ranger residence. So yeah, we came up along that road again. Now we're kind of walking back away from it. There's a deer over there. He's looking at me. He's still eating. He's not scared yet. You'll see a lot of wildlife in here. He's digging around. He's keeping his eye on me though. Yeah, I primitive camped in this park one time and had deer all over the place. Alright, let me walk on. I'll make him. He'll probably run off. They're pretty used to humans in here. He's just watching me. Got him a good place to eat there, I guess. No, he's gonna see me keep going. He's not too worried. Looking back at me there. Yeah, getting him a little grub here today. There's another one standing right there, real quiet, a smaller one. You can see him right there. We're over 3 miles now. Looks like the trail's going to come up onto the road. So I'm assuming we're going to cross over to the other side. See what building that is off to my right. Another map there. Okay, we're down here at the boat landing. A nice boat landing here. Alright, let's cross on over and keep going. Back down by the lake now. Let me go around these trees. I'll show you the boat landing. If I can get a clearing. There's somebody cranking their boat up right now. So I don't know if you can tell through those trees right there. I'm not going to go down any further, but that's the boat landing over there. Yeah, we've just come around now, across the road. Now we're behind the ranger's residence. So we were just on the other side not too long ago. We crossed, went down by the boat landing. This side of the trail's got a lot more gullies, a lot more ups and downs. These trails, well, the trail over there where the mountain bike riders goes, similar, real fast trails like this and gullies and things. That's what makes it a lot of fun. I don't know how many trails are combined, mountain biking and hiking, but if you don't, definitely take this trail if you don't want to see any mountain bikers. It's been a great hike so far. Yeah, I'm loving it so far. I'm glad I kept going. I got to see those deer. Old lamp was here. CR. Yeah, you can hear those boats. I don't know if you can hear it. I got a directional mic on this camera and it's facing me and the boats are in front. So you're gonna have a lot of road noise, a lot of boat noise, a lot of air traffic from jets going in and landing in Charlotte. It comes in spurts though. I mean, you can get some nice quiet time too. I thought this was interesting, the way this tree curves and it comes up and hugs the pine tree there. So it's going to grow around that pine tree over the years. It's going to be interesting to see how that turns out as it gets bigger. But it should help stabilize the pine tree, I would imagine. Yeah, those two will be intertwined for a long time to come. Yeah, this section's been a lot more hilly, a lot more roots. Had some nice bridges. Yeah, the water's looking a little tannish down in there. There's a lot of life down in there. I can see them moving around. Probably some frogs along there somewhere. And what happens is that this lake floods and it comes over the bank here, fills this up, and then animals use it. Gets wet, probably dries up, gets wet. You know, rain comes down that gully. They got a name for them. Things that, you know, where the water pools up and dries up, animals live in it. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I guess that little spot would be considered the same as others I've seen over at Eagle Point, High Rock Lake. They had one that had a sign saying the name of it. Somebody was Vernon or Vermin or something like that. I'll have to look that up, I guess. Maybe one of you guys can tell me in the comments below. But yeah, life needs those little ponds like that. Certain species do. All right, Lakeshore Trail, 4 miles. Got a mile to go. Mile or so, I don't know if it is exact. Dang it, I wish I'd have brought a trash bag. Somebody left a Coke can while they were resting on the bench. Usually try to pick up some trash when I'm doing these trails, but I didn't bring anything to carry it in today. Just got camera, jeans, and a t-shirt. That's it. And a crunched up water bottle in my back pocket. So here's a look at some of the climbs you'll have to make on this side. So the first part of this trail is a lot easier, not as many hills. So, you know, if you don't want to climb a lot of hills like this, backing around these gullies and things, you can see the gully off to my right. Just do the first part and do that little, you'll come up on that section where you can cut across back to the beginning. It's got a little shortcut for you. But once you cross the road at the boat landing, there's a lot more ups and downs. I mean, it's not hard, but somebody might have knee problems, just want to hike the easy parts. You kind of come in here and build a little wall, keep this from caving in. You know, like we talked earlier about the root balls. There's a big one down there that looks fairly fresh. And then this one here, of course, is older. Got another sign up here. group camp spur and Lakeshore Trail. So I'm assuming the group camp spur is where you can primitive camp and get your group together and go out there and camp. I'm not sure, but usually when they say group camps, that's what it is. So this trail turns on a switchback and we'll climb on up out of here. This tree's growing up out of this mound. Kind of got an odd looking trunk. It's split into a little arch with the roots going down. I guess as it gets bigger to fill in, I don't know. So as it get bigger. Here's a tree that got bent over at one time. And it said, "I'm not going down." So it sprouted. Climbed back up for the sun. Nice grassy area. Surprised I don't see any deer up in here. I'm sure they know where it's at. Still feel that pollen. Had a little rain the other day, but it wasn't enough. Here's another tree that refused to give up. Fell over. Somebody even cut a piece of it off. It started growing. The limbs that were in the side started to grow up to the top like a tree trunk. All along here. So I imagine what's going to happen is it'll just keep going like that and live off the main trunk that fell over, and maybe one day that one will go on into the ground further. I don't know how that works when it does like that. It might just get too big and fall over. I'm not sure. That one there, if the trunk gets big enough, might reach the ground and survive. I don't know. This part of the trail was quiet, and I was getting ready to talk about how quiet it was, and then I heard a car come by. There's the road right up ahead. Not sure how much further we got to go to get back to that RV, but sometimes it's best not to know. You get in too much of a hurry about getting done and you miss the very thing you came out here for. There's a couple on a motorcycle across the road here. The bark of this tree, I guess kind of like scales. I guess it reminds me it's big. Seems like it's bigger than most. Of course, this tree's big. Got some ants crawling around on it. Yeah, it's been here a while. Check that tree out right there, how it splits at the top. Don't just go straight up. It's got a little fork in it. 3 pieces go out in each direction. And if I was a kid in these woods, I'd have me a tree house up in that tree. Be perfect. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to climb trees all the time. Climb up to the very top. Had one tree, my favorite one. In the backyard of the house, I'd climb up there. I don't know, it's good height. I don't know, 75 feet maybe taller. I get at the very top, and it had a little fork in one of the limbs, and I'd lay there. Let that wind blow that tree back and forth, and it just rocked back and forth. And I just loved looking out over the landscape. I think a lot of kids like to do that. Look how this bark changes as you go up higher in the tree. It's a lot tighter at the bottom, but as it gets bigger, those pieces branch off and flake off in bigger chunks all the way to the top. So I guess as it gets older, I don't know, I guess the top of the tree is older than the bottom maybe. I don't know why it's a lot tighter at the bottom. Maybe some of you guys do. If you do, let me know in the comments. Teach me a few things. Just interesting to see how the bark changes. There's another one on this tree too. Hope you can see that in the camera. So I'm coming up on some power lines now. This is the second time that I've crossed them. I just crossed them just 3 minutes ago. Just go right up there, you'll cross over and it'll go down toward the lake and horseshoe back up. So if you're getting tired near the end of the trail and you want to take a shortcut when you get to the power lines, turn left, come down here and jump back on. I don't know if it's going to switch back anymore on it or not. I don't think so. We're getting into a bit of a pine forest now. See the pine needles all over the ground. Hearing an owl off to my left, but I don't think you'll be able to hear it. Pretty faint. Yeah, I don't know if you could hear him. He just hooted a few times. Yeah, I like the sound of owls. Trail's just going up beside the road now. I can hear cars passing pretty close by off to my left. Crossing the power line again for the third time. So we just kind of came from that direction and zigzagged across it. 1, 2, and then this third time here. Getting ready to cross the road again. This will be our last road crossing according to the map. Then we got a little hike on the other side, and then we'll be back at the trailhead. So as you cross the road right here, that's where we started out our day, down there at the lake where the people were swimming on the beach, and we looked at the concession stand and the picnic tables and went out on that pier. And then we were looking for a trail, and I said I was going to come out and go up to the visitor center to find a trail. When I drove out, I saw that sign right here. And to get to that trailhead, you take a right down that road. You can see Lakeshore Trail. You could actually probably just park down there at the concession stand, walk up here to it, and jump on right here if you wanted to. A lot more parking down there. At least there is today. Maybe on the weekend it'd be a lot more crowded down there, and you'd have to come up here and park where I parked the RV. Yeah, as I walk these trails, sometimes I like to think about how people lived back in history, and this trail would have been a way people would have got back and forth to towns. A little trail like this, probably wider with wagons, when a real popular and heavily traveled trail, but maybe between neighborhoods and houses, people would have trails they'd ride their horses on or walk. Wasn't no automobile back then, so that's the way people got around. Either did that or they lived along the river, used a canoe, maybe a raft. So in some ways, every day they got to walk out in nature. Like, we have to have these parks and come out here to get to do this, to get away from that great civilization that we've built. And I have to admit, it's nice. You have power and all those things, but you lose a lot too. And they just lived in this beautiful wilderness all the time. But I don't know, if you went back in time and asked them, they might be going, well, it's hard living. I trade spaces. I don't know. I think that if nobody was attacking them and they weren't having a fight with anybody, especially the Indians, they probably had it made before the Europeans got here and took everything over. But even then, even the tribes, they would fight. Different Indian nations, they would fight against each other. They could be just as brutal. So you had those dangers and back in the day. And definitely need to know how to take care of yourself. Most of us can't do that today, especially if you live in a big city and grow up there. You don't even know where your hamburger, some kids don't even know where a hamburger comes from. So I'm thankful for these parks. Even that tree I grabbed, that pine tree, sap all over my fingers now. You'd think I'd be smarter than that. Just reached around and swung off of it, but it is springtime. Now I got to touch the camera with my other finger. Says we're at the 5 mile mark now, so the whole of this trail is somewhere between 5 miles and 6 miles. My All Trail app says it's 6. I think the Trailhead said 5 something, but I'm not sure. It really doesn't matter though. Don't focus on the miles. Focus on your journey. Focus on your hike. And enjoy the day when you're out here. So yeah, I see it now. Old Rev up there in the parking lot right here on the side of the road waiting on me. A lot more cars here now. Give you a little look at the road and where you can park. There's the sign where we started. And there's some more parking down there. But yeah, the Lakeshore Trail here at Lake Norman State Park. Used to be called Duke Power State Park. Glad I found this trail. This is the first time hiking it. I enjoyed the whole trail. A little over 5 miles. Come on out and give it a hike. You'll enjoy it. Bring your dog, bring your wife, girlfriend, whatever. Just enjoy the day. If you enjoy this walking tour of Lake Norman State Park and the Lakeshore Trail, like, subscribe, and share. Y'all take care.